What could you do to protect your pets if you're sick or injured? My product, Save My Pet ID tag, helps you ensure that your beloved pets are safe and well cared for, even when life isn't what you expect.
Hey, I, like you, love heartwarming Christmas stories. And have we got a possum one for you today? And guess what? It's all true. On a cold, stormy night in Philadelphia, this stray, hungry dog somehow walked in the front door of our special guest today. What happened, as you're about to hear, changed both of their lives forever. Please welcome to our show the author of a must-get new children's book. It's called Stray Dog for Christmas, How Susie Was Adopted. Give it up, pause and applause, to Jake Jokinen. Welcome. Did I call you Jake? To Jack Jokinen. Welcome to our show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
All right. And you're also a podcaster. Do a little shout out. What's your podcast?
Yeah, you have to be really into the New York Yankees to want to listen to it, but it's called George's Box. I've been podcasting on and off since like 2009. Like before I even had an iPhone to listen to a podcast, I've been podcasting.
Well, I used to be a sports writer in South Florida, and I'm kind of laughing that you live in Philadelphia and you're a Yankee fan.
Born and raised in the Bronx.
So it's George's Box, named after George
Steinbrenner. In 2007, Roger Clemens appeared in George Steinbrenner's box to announce he was coming out of retirement. Susan Waldman, the Yankees radio announcer, did a whole thing of, oh my God, he's in George's box. Roger Clemens is back. Jorge Posada is smiling, and she has an accent. So one of my dogs is named Jorge Posada. We call him George. And Susie is named Susan Putman after Susan Waldman, the Yankees radio announcer and radio Hall of Famer.
I like that you honor people, and the dogs have good names too. These are good names. So is this your first children's book you've ever written?
Yeah. First, if you told me on December 13th of 2019 that I was going to write a children's book when I was going to bed, I'd say there's no chance, never going to happen. But I woke up on the 14th and Susie was here and we were off to the races trying to spread her story.
And I do want to have you quickly tell about this, set the scene, because I know the Philly area and, you know, it was kind of cold and windy and it was late at night and you had your security camera caught something, but you and your wife, Emily, were brand new parents, right?
Yep. We had our first daughter, Johanna, we call her Joey, was 1 month old to the day. And, you know, we're tired parents. It was kind of a winter storm of sorts, rain, a little bit of snow. I was walking George to wrap up the night. You come in, umbrella, wet dog, raincoat. And so trying to get it all off. The door, I thought, closed all the way, but the latch didn't catch, and I heard the electric handle lock go. So we didn't think anything of it. We were up for a few hours still.
Okay.
And then at 4 a.m., my wife woke me up and said, the baby's okay, but there's a dog in our house. I said, of course, George is right here. He's at the foot of the bed. And she said, no, there's another dog in the house. And I was like, oh, you're probably just tired. You know, it's the first month. But let me go check. And there she was, just a sick, injured dog in our house. I checked, windows locked, doors locked, trying to piece together, like, where did this mystery dog come from? I had tweeted about it. And luckily I had some followers like Pat McAfee and Randy Scott from SportsCenter.
Oh, come on. You just named a god of podcasting. You just exported Pat McAfee. You just happen to know him.
Yeah. Pat was on his way to college game day. That's the only reason you're awake on a Saturday morning at 4 a.m. And it just started to go viral as we, you know, got her some food, put her in a crate so that we could figure out what's going on. There's no really good results. If you Google, I found a dog in my house. So we waited till 8 o'clock, and at 8:01 called animal control. They said you can drop it off at 11 a.m. and we'll handle it from there. And just drop it off didn't feel right. So we called our vet that we hadn't really been happy with, and they turned us away. Found another vet in Philly, Art City Vets. They took us in as an emergency patient. Susie had fleas, ticks, infections in all 4 paws. She had to have 19 teeth removed. She has a heart murmur. And yeah, she had really been through it. You know, the last thing we needed at that time was another dog, especially off the street. But she grew so attached to me so quick. I had no other choice but to do the right thing and make sure that we gave her a good home. I viewed it as an opportunity to, you know, when my daughters are now older, Joey's almost 5, she knows Susie came and found us. And she knows about the good that we've done. People on the internet were very generous due to medical bills. We got about $42,000. We got Susie healthy, but then we started giving the money away. We noticed after 2 days, people started adopting dogs when they saw our story on the news.
Very nice.
As we hit about 6 months of Susie, we knew that she was going to be okay. We knew we had excess money. We had gotten close to about 100 adoptions we had inspired. And so when we hit 100, I announced I would start giving the money away, $100 a pop. And I just built a little website that people could go in, upload their information, proof of adoption. And if they wanted, I'd send them $100. If they didn't, we'd keep the train rolling. And we did 366 adoptions in the first year because it was a leap year.
Is it still operating?
No, right now we've kind of run out of money.
But you did a lot of good. You did a lot of good, Jack.
We are looking for opportunities to do something like that again. From when the book comes out, we're looking at options. We're trying to see, you know, maybe there are some corporate partners we could get, not as like an endorsement deal or anything, just like help us give money away.
I like that. And before you dive deep into the book, because I want people to get that, it's a great idea for the holidays. Who's this dude named Steve?
Steve was just a guy who lived in my neighborhood. I had found, once I went to the security cameras and said, what could have happened here? And it turns out the storm blew the door open. About 20 minutes later, a guy comes by with what looks like a bag full of beers, and he's on his way home.
Billy.
And he saw the door open, and he went up and he knocked and he yelled, and he didn't see the dog, and he pulled the door shut. So I just started grabbing screen grabs and went to like community Facebook groups. Does anyone know who this guy is? And I was able to find him, take him out to dinner. We had spent some time, you know, hanging out. He doesn't live in the Philly area anymore, but you know, I'm so appreciative of what he did.
Random act of kindness.
Yes, it was a great thing that he did. He deserves all the credit in the world. He was coming out of a rough time in his life, he had shared, where prior to that, maybe a year or two earlier, he wouldn't have made the same choice. So we were really happy that he was where he was in life and was able to make a great choice to help keep my family safe.
So when you first saw Susie eye to eye, she was in really rough shape, you said. Was she growling, whimpering? How did you first what was the vibe when you first locked eyes?
Well, she was afraid because she didn't know who we were. You know, it really was like she came inside. You can see on the security camera, she went in and out, not really sure what to do. So she was kind of scared. I took a blanket and wrapped her up, and we had for some reason, made a turkey in December. So we had a bunch of turkey from the night before. So we were able to give her some food, which she, you know, kind of gobbled down. And, you know, at first I thought this is a puppy that someone got early for Christmas and got away because she was so small. She only weighed about 18, 19 pounds. And now she's about 35 pounds. So she was underweight. And when you don't need a dog right then, you've got a 1 month old. So you're kind of hoping like maybe my next door neighbor and it was an accident. But then once you clear your eyes, you know, you throw some water on your face, you realize this is a dog that's in trouble. I don't want this dog to go back to wherever it came from. Like it's our place to help and do a good thing and hopefully bring some people together. And it all really worked out great for her. And we've gotten to have a platform that we never expected to have as a family.
Hey, everyone. We're speaking with Jack Jokinen. He is the author of a book. You got to grab it. It is called A Stray Dog for Christmas. And it's all about him and Susie and the family. And it's the first time he's written a children's book. So we're going to dive in more about that. But what a story. What a story. You were destined for Susie to be part of your pack. So everybody, you all know the drill. We got to take a break. You got to sit and stay. We'll be right back.
Hey, have you heard? Four-Legged Life has a new digital newsletter. Here, let me show you how you get yourself subscribed. So you just type in Four-Legged Life and that'll take you to the website. There we go. And this magic thing just appears, and you type in your email address. I'll use, let's see, how about coolestdogever@gmail.com. That's me. And then you just click on this thing here. There you go. It's the new digital newsletter from Four-Legged Life. Get subscribed today.
Hey, pet pals, welcome back to the Four-Legged Life Show. I'm your host, Arden Moore. We're learning about this incredible story, a man and a dog. The dog's name is Susie, and she came in from the cold right before Christmas in 2019 in Philadelphia in the home of Jack and Emily Jokinen, and they now have 2 little girls, and they already had a dog, George. And you were saying, this wasn't in the cards, a second dog, because there's a lot of responsibility when you have pets, and you were new parents.
Yeah, we were trying to figure out just how to be parents, how to sleep, all the stuff that you go through in the first month. And we had George for about a year and a half. At that point, we had moved to the Philly area from New York, and part of moving was I told my wife I'd get her a dog. We didn't want one in New York in a small apartment. Yeah. And George was adopted as well. It was one of my things is let's save a life instead of having someone create a life. So I've been a big fan of adoption, and that also played in the decision to keep Susie with us. Right.
So what happened that said, hey, we got to write a children's book about what we just experienced, because it's incredible. And it is great because you're inspiring other people. But when did the light bulb go on?
Probably within the first 48 hours.
Really?
My wife had managed a Instagram page for George that had, 15 followers. It was just her friends. And she said, can I make one for Susie? I said, yeah, go nuts. Because people were following me on Twitter because I had tweeted it. And I told them, this is going to turn into Yankees baseball very quickly. Spring training's about to start. You are not going to want to stick around for this. So I tried to move everybody over to Susie's Instagram. And by doing that, people were able to comment this would be a great story. We had a production company reach out within the first 72 hours looking to buy the rights to the story. And so I figured then we probably have something here. Let's not rush to anything. Let's figure out the best way to make an impact. So we spent the first year just focusing on inspiring adoptions, trying to do everything we could as new parents. COVID hit, and that derailed some of it. Susie was signed up to go into training so we could go to the children's hospital.
Therapy dog training?
Yeah, and just see ways we could help. Obviously, COVID had other plans for all of us. So we kept making sure that we got dogs adopted. And on the 1-year anniversary, I did an Instagram Q&A because I knew someone would ask. Almost every post got a comment about a children's book. And when someone asked, I just said, I think I need an agent. And luckily, someone reached out who worked in PR, but knew agents and had helped create Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I said, all right, you probably know about kids' books. Yeah. And luckily, I was able to find an agent. We tried to sell the story off the news clippings for about a year.
Well, if I may interject on that, because Philly's got the daily news and the Philadelphia Inquirer, and there is a front page that says, stay. Family found this ailing pooch at their door. She picked the right house. You made the cover of the Philadelphia Daily News. Well, Susie did. Yeah. That's pretty big.
Yeah, my daughters have it. It's blown up as a huge frame thing in their playroom. So, it helps give them some perspective of some of the stuff their parents have done.
So you're doing this book, and I notice you have a beautiful trailer. How do people learn how to get the book and learn more about what you're doing, your mission?
So I'm very fortunate that Stray Dog for Christmas is with Sourcebooks Kids, which is I don't know how else to describe it. It's a real book. I didn't even self-publish it. So you can buy it anywhere books are sold. You can just Google A Stray Dog for Christmas. You can go to astraydogforchristmas.com, and there's links. Target, Walmart, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, really anywhere where you can get a book, you should be able to get this book, especially online. And I'd really appreciate anybody who purchases it. It's been 4.5 years of work. And I'm very fortunate that I get the opportunity now to go. I get to visit schools, tell kids the story.
I like that.
When they're very young.
What's the Instagram now? Tell us for people so they can follow Susie.
Yeah, Susie's Instagram is Susan Putman, SUZYN PUPMAN. And I
think you got about 53,000 followers so far. Maybe my math is off, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, no, we've got a good amount of followers. We try to show Susie's life, what she's doing, everything from just like playing with her sisters to going to the doctor, because I'm no dog expert. A lot of, especially the first year, was a lot of help from our vets. And there were certain things that like I wondered, everyone loves this like great story, but like when there were hard times, like, do I share that? And we decided to. So we dealt with some separation anxiety in the first month that ended up with a broken nail and a trip to the vet. And we decided to share that because it's not all roses all the time. And as we try to push people to adopt, we want to make sure they know what they're getting themselves into.
And you want to do a shout out to your illustrator?
Yes, Wendy Tan. She did such a great job of bringing Susie and George and just my family to life. Now we have animated characters of ourselves, and it's our voices, our actual voices in the trailer.
Oh, that's good. I like it when I think Emily says, "No, there's a dog in our house."
Yeah, no, it's a really cool experience that we're really getting to go through.
What's Susie like now, and how is she with George and the girls?
So Susie they estimated she was about 9 years old when we found her. So she's almost 14 years old.
Wow.
So she is an older dog, but there are some days where it's like she's got that puppy in her and she'll be playing with George or trying to make him play. She spends a lot of time laying around, just kind of enjoying life, eating, licking. The girls play with her a good amount. Sometimes more than she would like. And we have to tell them, don't chase Susie. You got to be gentle with Susie. But she's a really happy dog. She gets to go outside. We try to go to the dog park every once in a while. She's not really interested in other dogs. She just likes to hang out with me and watch George play with the other dogs. But, she's been such a great addition to the family. When you have a 1-month-old and you have this dog off the street, so many things could go wrong.
Exactly.
And none of those things happen. So we consider ourselves very fortunate.
And think about that. Can you name did you have any dogs growing up, Jack?
We had one when I was really young. That was like my dad's dog from his 20s.
Do you remember the dog's name?
His name was Smackwater, which is a weird name.
Well, what I'm saying, the point is, do you think that Layla and Joey, they're always going to know who their first dog was, George, and the next dog, Susie? Think about the impact you're making with your book with kids and their first dog.
That was from doing the adoptions online too. That was the biggest thing. A lot of families said, like, this was our first dog. And it's a picture of a mom and dad and 2 kids. Well, now we've created more dog people, and those kids are going to be dog people, and they'll meet their partners and be dog people. So, kind of the butterfly effect of saving all these lives. And like I said, I get to go to schools, and whether it's kindergarten and I'm just reading the book to them and they get to see Susie, or up to like 6th, 7th, 8th grade, where I get to read the book to them, but I tell them about the whole story. I tell them about writing a book. I can help them with that process, because my biggest thing with this is, I'm nobody special. I'm just a regular guy. And I wrote a book. So if I could do it, anybody can do it.
Well, but you wrote from the heart, Jack, and that makes the difference, right?
Yeah, I guess so. It's been a whirlwind, and it really is, even though it's taken a number of years. It's such an exciting time for us that this has come to fruition.
Again, please say how to follow Susie, because I know we've got a few people following us, not in the Pat Ackerfield dynasty, but we're getting there.
You can follow Susie on Instagram at Susan Putman, SUZYN PUPMAN. And you can follow me. I'm on Instagram and Twitter. I won't call it X, at JJ from the Bronx. Like, hey,
everybody, you're looking for a great holiday gift for kids of all ages. I say get your paws on this new book, A Stray Dog for Christmas. We are speaking with Jack Jokinen. He is the man that wrote the book, but it was a family effort. And we just want to thank you for what you did for Susie, and thank you for paying it, or should I say, pawing it forward.
Thank you so much for having us. Thank you for the opportunity. Anybody who listens to this, thank you for listening. Thank you for buying a book. Anyone who follows Susie, thank you for supporting. Thank you for adopting dogs. If we just the world's a crazy place. We thought it was a crazy place in 2019. It's a little crazier now in 2024. If we just keep kind of positive vibes and try to do good things and help each other, it'll all work out.
Thanks so much for making our tails wag by watching this guest interview from Arden Moore's Four-Legged Life. Four-Legged Life. Make sure to subscribe so you're up to date with all of our Four-Legged Life content. Four-Legged Life. Four-Legged Life.